I'd like to call this meeting to order by asking that you stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance with us. Roll call, please.
Alderman Lockett.
Present.
Davis.
Here.
Lispy.
Here.
Evans.
Here.
Spivey.
Here.
Mayor Ford.
Present. Do we have a minister in the house tonight? No ministers in the house tonight? Okay. Okay.
We bow our heads. Dear Jesus, please bless this meeting. Bless our residents. Bless our council, Lord, that we continue to do the work, your work, Lord, not our work, and just continue to bless this city and bless this meeting. In your name we pray.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Alderman Davis. General proceedings, approval of minutes.
General proceedings approval of minutes, regular city council meeting, July 13, 2015.
Second.
Second, any questions, corrections? All those in favor, let it be known by the sign of aye.
Aye.
All right. Communications and reports by the mayor. I have a group of volunteers tonight that I would like to recognize, and I would like to ask, one of the aldermen, if you would, to go over the list.
Make a motion for approval for volunteer commissions appointments. Jasmine Gore, Jonathan Henfield, Thomas Melton, Michael Holmes, and John Edwards.
Second.
And there's one more that didn't get added that I have, and that's Seth Wilson.
And Seth Wilson.
Have
Second.
a second?
Second.
Okay, roll call.
Alderman Lockett.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Lispy.
Yes.
Evans.
Yes.
Spivey.
Yes.
All right.
You want to come forward?
Yeah, I'm asking Ms. Joanne Wade to come forward and bring up the volunteers.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Let's forget to talk. I'd like to welcome our newly appointed commissioners today. As commissioners, they work with the city on special projects, and they'll also work along with their chosen commission on other projects. We really appreciate our volunteers giving back to the community because it allows us to provide more services for our residents. As I call your name, you and your family would like to come up and say a few words. Jasmine Gore, I didn't see her in the house. Is Jasmine here today? No, she works with us. She's been appointed to the Public Access Cable Commission. Jonathan Hemphill, are you here? Also, Public Access Cable. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi. Well, I kind of had sudden interest in filmmaking. And I figured if I was getting involved with the community, helping with the cable, and get some experience under my belt. Why not?
Can you introduce your guests?
This is my father, Charles Hemphill.
All right.
Thomas Milton.
Hi, my name is Thomas Melton. I've been appointed to the Theater Commission. I have quite a bit of experience with the venue. Not quite as big, but I think I could bring a lot, and I'm excited about it. My family couldn't be here tonight for a medical emergency, so here I am.
Michael Holmes, from Education Committee.
Thank you. My name is Michael Holmes. This is my wife, Divya. I want to thank the mayor, and I want to thank City Council for allowing us to create this commission. I think it's going to be the most important entity in this city. You know, everybody is talking about education. I'm personally running around the state working with communities, and education is the backbone of community. So I hope to be able to bring to this commission an opportunity to bring Country Club Hills forward in relationship to our kids being educated and having a top-flight education environment in the city. Thank you.
John Edwards, Education Commission.
First of all, I'd like to thank the city council, the mayor, and say I am very humble to be able to come back to the community and give help to help our beautiful young kids go to school, get them opportunity to be successful and work in a village, in a city where we can produce positive young people in this community. Thank you.
Is Seth Wilson here?
Seth Wilson. I volunteered on the theater commission about 2 years ago. I'm happy to volunteer again this year, and I'm looking forward to working with all of you and the city council. And I thank the entire city council for allowing me to work with them this year. Thank you.
Can we give all of our commissioners a round of applause? Okay, also, I would like to ask the council to approve a resolution extending the appointment of Cook County Sheriff as the City Inspector General. As you know, we've had the Cook County to be the city's Inspector General for about a couple of years, maybe, and we want to extend that for another year. We received a letter. They want to continue in that role, and we as the council and the mayor, we want them to continue as our Inspector General for the city of Country Club Hills. So I need a council to approve that.
Make a motion for a resolution extending the appointment of the Cook County Sheriff as the City Inspector General.
Second.
It's been properly roll call.
Alderman Lockett.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Lispy.
Yes.
Evans.
Yes.
Spivey.
Yes.
All right, so we have them another year. Okay, the next thing on the agenda is city event updates by Joanne Wade again.
Lots of good stuff happening in August. We're going to start with our citywide garage sale. That's August 1st. It's from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. All the residents have been signing up at City Hall. Interested in doing some great garage selling, you can pick up your list at the security desk anytime this week. It's available now. Also on Saturday, we have our 6th annual Mary Smith Brain Tumor Awareness Fun Run and Walk. Mary Smith was a resident here in town, and she died of a brain tumor, and her daughter started this foundation, so this is their sixth year. So if you're available on next Saturday for the walk, they'll be there from 6 a.m. until noon. We have our back-to-school parade, which is going to be August 15th, and I'm sure everybody in this room has attended the back-to-school parade. It will be a great event, again, as usual. We have a lot of vendors and parade participants, so you can look forward to that being a fun day. That's the 15th. But what I want to do now, coming up August 8th, is our Multicultural Festival. And our multicultural volunteers are here today. Could you guys come up? They're volunteering right now. We call ourselves a multicultural team of volunteers, and hopefully we're going to become a commission soon. At this event on August 8th, we're going to have music, dance, food vendors, and artisans. This commission, I sent out a letter in the mail, and oh my God, did we get such a response. this commission will be about bringing our residents together through diversity. In town, we have a lot of diversity, and we just want to highlight that. So we've come together every Tuesday at 7 o'clock and on Friday for these ladies. Thank you so much. And we've made a lot of plans. It's going to be a great day. So if you're available, please come out and support us. Is there anybody that would like to say something about their experience with this?
Hi, my name is Susan Omotosho, and I've been a resident in Country Club Hills for about 14 years. And it's such a great honor to be a part of this committee, and Joanne Wade is doing an excellent job. I'm from Nigeria, and I know quite a bit of Nigerians live here, and all of us as a community. It's so great to be involved in this diverse program, I would say. So thank you very much.
My name is Keisha Wilson. I am actually a native of Country Club Hills. We came up with the slogan, and it's celebrating culture one neighbor at a time. So we really are excited about the upcoming event that we're having on August 8th. And we just encourage for you guys to share the word and just get the word out, because we want to celebrate the cultural change and the progress that we've made in Country Club Hills. So just grab some flyers, once we conclude the meeting, and word of mouth, we're going to have posters strategically placed throughout the city. And if you just need more information, just contact Ms. Wade, and we'll be happy to share. So we're just looking for more participation from the community. So invite friends on the outside as well on the inside. Neighbors, anyone. Yep.
Try some new foods.
Yep.
Bring a little money, buy some crafts and artisans will be there. It's going to be a really
Thank you. Thank you. Let's give them a round of applause. Okay, item D on the mayor's report, and I'll be finished after this one. Item D, there's a presentation that's going to be given by the Jewish Federation of Metropolitan of Chicago, Ben Ritter, Shirley Ritter, and Jack Levine. I believe I got that right. Could you all please come forward? And also, is our chief of police and fire chief in the house? Ask that they come forward as well. Who's going to speak? Is that you, Ben? Oh, okay. Can you lower that a little bit? Okay.
On behalf of the Jewish Federation of Chicago and Chai Unit B'nai B'rith, which has a chapter in Homewood, it's our pleasure to give a donation of B'nai B'rith Buddy Bears to the police and fire department. This is a national program, part of the B'nai B'rith Care for Kids program, that brings comfort to individuals young and old when they have a trauma. We find that for a few moments they get emotional healing at a time when they really need it, and we're very glad we can do this. We have a donation. We have a carton here of 4 dozen, so it's 2 dozen apiece, and we hope you enjoy using them and put them to we are very confident you'll put them to very good use.
Thank you.
Our pleasure.
Thank you once again. Thank you. You're welcome. I think this is a great project, and when I first heard about it, I definitely wanted to be a part of it. So we have the opportunity to pass out the little bears to kids that might be having some kind of traumas and dramas and things of that nature. So it is a great thing. And the multicultural committee, that's a dream that seemed to be coming together today. I think we have a lot of diversity here in town, and we want to just highlight those diversities. Okay, with that, the next is the city collector's report.
Thank you, Your Honor. Wanted to report that we had revenues for the month ending June 30th of $1,306,290.13, consisting of the following: $894,309.03 in the general fund, $36,121.60 for motor fuel tax, $190.51 911 surcharge, $810.31 police pension, $19,378.33 fire pension fund, and $355,480.35 in the water and sewer fund. End of my report.
Okay, city clerk's report as well.
Have no report.
Have no report. Treasurer, there's no report from the treasurer? Okay. Okay, Finance Committee?
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to seek council approval for vouchers for July 27th, 2015. AP disbursements in the amount of $581,229.14. Payroll is $148,427.55. Oakland Water is $146,765.45. We've got the BP Fuel, the Mayor and City Council luncheon, and the AFLAC, giving us a grand total of $895,455.87.
Second.
Okay, no questions? Roll call?
Alderman Lockett?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Gillespie?
Yes.
Evans?
Yes.
Spivey.
Yes.
Okay.
Next item, I'd like to get an ordinance number if I can, clerk.
Ordinance number 00815.
Oh. Okay, thank you. Like to seek council approval for an ordinance adopting the annual budget for the year commencing May 1st, 2015 and ending April 30th, 2015. 16, I'm sorry.
Second.
And this is a balanced budget, and the funds, a summary of the funds, are general funds, $20,828,918. Motor fuel tax fund, $2,625,900. TIF fund, $2,960,183. 9/11 surcharge fund of $104,400. Liability insurance fund is $2,666,101. FICA IMRF fund, $1,054,764. Capital Projects Fund is $2,783,561. The Debt Service Fund is $4,115,850. Waterworks and Sewage Fund is $4,809,409, giving a grand total of $41,986,086. And by a balanced budget, meaning our revenues do exceed our expenditures. I'd like to seek council approval.
Do we have a second? We have a second? Okay, any other questions? Okay. Roll call?
Alderman Lockett?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Gillespie?
Yes.
Evans?
No.
Spivey.
Yes.
Okay. Next item? Oh, end of your
Agenda.
report.
That's the end of my report, Mayor.
Okay.
Thank you. We missed an agenda, Mayor. They were out.
Second page?
We even had a second page, so,
Ooh,
but that's all right. That's the end of my report.
okay. Next on the agenda is the Law and Ordinance Government Operations. Alderwoman Evans.
Yes. Good evening. My next meeting will be August 10th. That's Monday at 6 p.m. Not this coming Monday, the following Monday, I'm sorry. And I am seeking approval of an ordinance providing the granting of a Class B liquor license subject to fulfillment of the liquor license requirement for Club Sugar Hill at 18221 Crawford pursuant to Chapter 13 of City of Country Club Hills Municipal Code. I need an ordinance number.
Ordinance number 00915.
Need a second.
Second.
Okay, any questions? Okay, roll call, please.
Alderman Lockett.
Yes.
Davis.
No.
Lispy.
Yes.
Evans.
Yes.
Spivey.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries.
I'll just make a quick comment about that. That Club Sugar is the name of the business, and it is formerly known as Revelations. So Revelations had a liquor license. They are no longer Revelations. The business is no longer existent. So it's just a new person going in that same building. So we're not adding any additional liquor licenses.
Okay, any other comments? Alderwoman?
No, end of my report.
Okay. Next on the agenda is the Public Works and Utilities. Alderman Gillespie.
No report at this time.
Okay. Economic Development, Planning and Zoning. Alderman Spivey.
I'd like to schedule a meeting August 7th, 7 p.m. No report at this time.
Okay. Insurance Risk Management. Alderman Lockett.
No report at this time.
Okay. Special Committee as a whole. We have 2 new members on the Theater Commission. You just witnessed their swearing in. Other than that, I need a motion to open the floor to the public.
I'd like to make a motion to open the floor to the public.
Second.
Okay, public, come up and give us your name and speak to the council, please.
Hi, everybody. Karen Peterson here. So many issues. It's hard for me to know what to do first. I think I'd like to speak to the theater. $7 million and counting, still not paid for. Never operated without a loss. And I'd like to know why people on this dais are thinking about committing $2 million per the Tribune to adding new seats, claiming that it will be self-sufficient. In my book, self-sufficient means that you are covering the cost of the mortgage. You are also covering the cost of the operating expenses. And I don't see that that would be possible in the economic climate that we are faced with right now. It's possible, but I think it's highly unlikely that we would find enough sponsors to make that self-sufficient. My second issue is probably the big issue that everyone here is most concerned about, which is our tax rate. I attended the budget meeting, several of them, in fact, and I attended one last week, and I confronted the city council about the tax rate, and they all said, oh, it's not us, it's the county that sets the rate. Well, it might be the county that sets the rate, but when you raise taxes approximately 30% per the budget, per the new budget, 11,000 or 11 million more than last year, your taxes are going to go up, and that will be determined the second week in December by David Orr. The tax rate in Homewood is 1.8. The tax rate in Tinley is 1.5. The tax rate in Flossmoor is 3.0. Our current tax rate is 9.467. So our tax rate is going to go up. And Mayor, all due respect, I know you want business to come. Business can't afford that tax rate, so you're not going to get much business here. And you need, I believe, all of you should go back to the drawing board and think about ways to cut the budget, not ways to spend it, because it's reverse engineered. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Thomas Melton. I just want to say one thing, as I came last week to when they were discussing the budget, and I'd like the aldermen in their report this evening to, I talked about the raises for the aldermen. I know it's minimal in the whole scheme of things, but I think it's very important because it has been discussed many times. The public is concerned about it. The aldermen are making over $38,000 to get retirement and all this other good stuff. And no disrespect to any one person here, but, the budget is considerably more. And I'd like to hear your feelings on why you think when everybody's property taxes got raised roughly 30% or more, on how you can justify that for a part-time position. I just would like them to explain it, but no disrespect towards any one person here.
Next, thank you.
Good evening, City Council, Mr. Mayor, Dwyer Williams.
Good evening.
Couple of things. I'm pretty sure the whole everybody in Country Club Hills is a little bit upset with this budget. I think that you can go back to the drawing board. You have to start with yourself. You have to say, we're not going to take a raise. Maybe the rest of the people won't take a raise. Maybe we need a freeze. We need something. 41 million. I think somebody said 11 million. I think last year was 36 million. So we like 6 million, 5 million above last year. It's only going to get worse. We need to go back to the drawing board and take a look at this thing. Some of the spenders, you look at, over 800,000 for transportation. Maybe we need to look at that, cut 800,000, cut the department, sell some buses, give some vouchers out. I think vouchers would be cheaper than a bus service that we have. That's one thing we can look at. But start with yourself. Say, hey man, we can't take a raise. Maybe some of the officers won't take a raise. Maybe, just go down the line. $6 million is a lot to ask us to pay for. And this theater, I keep harping on this theater. I'm glad you brought the theater up. $2 million for something we don't know is going to work. And it haven't proved that it can work. I just think we need to look at this thing. I keep crying about roads. We keep talking about seats in the theater. The streets are horrible. And I'm not the only one, but I'm going to keep speaking on it. We need to look at our roads rather than somebody to party. I can't party. I can't afford the seats. That's number one. We should look at that. You can't even afford those seats over there. So let's look at something else. Let's do something else. Thank you, City.
Anyone else?
Make a motion to close the floor to the public.
Second.
All those in favor, let it be known by the sign of aye.
Aye.
Okay. Okay, next on the agenda is the automatic reports. I think we start down with Alderman Spivey tonight.
Well, I'd like to start off by thanking everyone for coming tonight. I met with my Fourth Ward residents over the weekend, and they have a lot of concerns about speeding excessively in the community. I think that the people that's living in the community really need to slow down because there's a lot of things that can happen out of that. You could injure yourself or injure someone that's crossing the street or playing out in the street, playing basketball and so forth. End of my report.
Alderwoman
Good evening.
Evans.
Yes, I know a lot of people are interested in why I voted no for the budget. There are a lot of things in the budget that I was happy about. There were some cuts that I was happy about, but overall, the budget still presented will ultimately not give any relief to residents. I guess relief, a large amount of relief, maybe a few dollars some folks will get, most people will get an increase, part due to other factors on your tax bill and part due to what we're asking for in our budget. I don't think it's a matter of presenting a proposed or a balanced budget, because every year we presented a balanced budget where your revenue exceeds your expenditures, but we always, and as we get caught up on our audits, I note that we constantly exceed our expenditures. So you can present the most balanced budget you want. At the end of the day, if you constantly exceed your expenses, it doesn't matter if you're presenting a balanced budget. And that's exactly what we're doing. We're constantly exceeding our expenditures. We're going over line items, hundreds of thousands of dollars, and ultimately that boils down to the taxpayers, which includes me. I'm one of those taxpayers, and I feel it, and that's why I did not vote. This is the third budget year in a row for me that I did not vote for the budget, because we can do more. And I believe someone explained, and I also mentioned the last council meeting, that the budgets are tied heavily to salaries. They're the biggest part of our budget, which, as most companies or organizations, they are the biggest part of that. But somebody's going to have a hard conversation. In the world that I come from, whether it's a nonprofit organization, if you do not have a funding grant, or you don't receive it anymore, then programs get cut, and folks get cut when you're dealing with a nonprofit organization. In a for-profit entity, a company, when you don't meet your sales goals and your goals for the year, things also get cut. They have to have the hard conversations, or the business does not exist. I don't think this is any different. How it's being seen different is that we can just get the money from the taxpayers. It'll just, hey, as long as you keep paying your mortgage and your escrow, we'll keep getting money to spend. And we have to kind of look at ourselves as a business. When you do not have or meet your expectations, you have to have the hard conversations and take a look. And I don't think there's an excuse that we, our salaries are tied to union contracts. Then we need to look at our union contracts. And they are very much so. And that doesn't go pointing any finger at any group of people that work for the city, but at the end of the day, if we're going to have residents stay here, and you want to stay here, you want to keep your house, then those conversations need to be had. If you don't, in 5 years from now, 10 years from now, when your taxes, including mine, are 14, 15, and for those that are already paying 18 and 19, when they're 25 and 26, then that's not the time to have the conversation. The time to have the conversation is now. So that is why I do not support the budget, because we constantly, the conversation needs to be had before we go into budget meetings of what we can do that will really impact it. When we get to budget meetings, cutting, some things, paper, and cutting, some activities in the recreation, that's not going to be enough to satisfy and allow people to stay in their homes. So that's why I did not support that. Some folks asked some questions. Where'd my notes go? Another big one was the theater, and the discussion of adding seats and why that is. Most of you know that when I very first started as an alderman, I was the chair of the theater commission, and the theater committee tried, not commission, I'm sorry, I was the chair of the theater committee, and the commission tried very hard to do a lot of things. And I think before we go adding seats and using TIF dollars, although it's a restricted fund and it's coming from a TIF fund and not the general fund, it still came from your property tax. It still came from tax dollars. It still came from tax revenue. So it is a form of tax, even though it's allocated to a strict fund. And before we go adding new seats, I think we need to have a discussion on how the theater will be properly managed. I think a resident asked the question as far as it losing money. Do we really, really know if it lost money or if money just went through a hole or loophole? Do we really know that? We had no strong management company managing the theater that could tell us that from the time it opened to the time it closed, this is what you made and this is what you spent. And you lost money, you broke even, or you made a profit. We don't have that. And so I think that discussion needs to be had first. Which strong management company, a company that manages entertainment, will be put in place to deal with the theater before we go adding seats? Because you'll be in the same position again. You'll add more seats, but it'll be more revenue to slip through a loophole again. That's what will happen at the end of the day. So that's the conversation that needs to be had. Another person mentioned about the streets, and it's so unfortunate that we have the taxes that we have, and the streets are in the conditions that they're in, and they're getting worse, and that we're at a position where we have to decide to take out a bond in order to pay our streets. But yet, folks taxes on their properties that are, you know, a small-sized ranch are nearly $10,000 a year, but we can't afford to fix our streets without taking out a bond. That's a conversation to be had. And another mentioned about addressing the alderman's salary. That is a part of not voting for the budget, because we can do more, and we can start with ourselves and do more. We cannot use the excuse that it can't be changed unless you vote on it. It's all voted on together. We have to find some source or some way to kind of give back and lead by example. We can't expect others to follow us if we're not doing that ourselves. So with that being said, that is the end of my report, and if anybody has any questions about, more specific about the budget itself and the things in the budget that I didn't support, please feel free to see me afterwards. Thank you.
Alderman Gillespie.
Yes, I spoke about the Metropolitan Water Reclamation or Sanitary District last week. And, the municipalities throughout the South Suburban of Country Club Hills, we are asking, all the municipalities are asking for a 5-year expansion to get a program together so they can come in compliance with the Metropolitan Water Reclamation Sanitary District. They're going to require all municipalities to stop using a large amount of salt. We have used a large amount of salt throughout the years. We're going to have to cut back on that because of the waterways. We're killing the fish, et cetera, and creating damage to the environment. So we're going to have to come up with a plan within a 5-year span, within the next 5 years, if they allow that. They haven't approved that, but if they allow that, we're going to have to come up with something within the next 5 years to comply with the water reclamation or sanitary district demands. Also, for the first ward, the peoples in the first ward in the city of Country Club Hills, I'd like to ask your support in helping keep the city moving forward. We are the peoples of the city. We represent the city. It's a lot we can do to make this city a better city. And I think it's incumbent upon us to do that. I don't see a lot of people within the city that are doing that. Some things we can do. I do it on a regular basis. I sweep my curb each time I cut my grass. I think each one can do that. We don't have to have a street sweeper. We can be our own keeper. Those are simple things that we could do, and we should do. And most of us do not do that. We blow the leaves in the streets, the grass clipping in the streets. Some of us, not all of us, that we should not do. I do not do that. As I said, any debris that I put in the street, when I finish cutting my lawn, I sweep it completely. And I think the entire community should pitch in and help make this city a better city. And also, as far as the theater, it's our responsibility to give this theater a chance to work. Maybe it hasn't worked in the last 2 to 5 years, or however many years it has been, but we should be given that opportunity. I'm a taxpayer as well. We should be given that opportunity as well to see whether or not this theater will work. We don't know that, and we should be given that opportunity to determine that. That is the end of my report.
Alderman Lockett.
Thank you. Thank you all for coming out. The members of this council worked hard and diligently on this budget, and if anyone that sits on the council was time to say something, then you should have spoke during the budget meetings, along with the residents that attended. So Country Club Hills is a different community. That's why it is the community it is. It's a bedroom community, and we offer the services to keep the people here. Some of you might not like some of the things, but that's the way it is. And you get up here saying about $800,000 in transportation, but you're not showing the people the whole picture. The $800,000 in transportation is all the fuel and the repairs and everything from every department combined to one. And it's not what it used to be where every department held their own. So it's one unit that's been created to put all the gas and the repairs and everything into one line item. So it's not $800,000 just on the buses. Far as the theater has lost money. The last couple of years when the council had the theater lost less money. Yes, it did lose money. We have to give this an opportunity to make money. And with adding seats in here, give us a chance to, for someone to get naming rights and get sponsors in here and allow to bring in someone to run this theater professionally. With additional seats in there at 2,000 seats at approximately $100 a ticket, that's $200,000 per show. So we're looking to make this theater work. Believe it or not, it's still a price tag on it. It still has to be paid for. And at this time, if we're going to use the TIF money, we've taken care of Heritage Plaza for the last 28 years. Someone else's property. This is our money. This is our theater, whether you like it or not. It's in our community. It sits on our property, and now it's time to invest in us. Far as someone mentioned about the alderman's raises, come on, be serious. It's 1.3 of the budget. 1.3. 1.3. So the budget is $41 million out of that. We talk about people's salary. Well, this just didn't happen this year. These are contracts that's been negotiated over the years. Now, maybe we need to hire a professional negotiator to negotiate union contracts or something, okay? But to put this all on the alderman, like we gave the people the raises and that, no, it's about union contract. And I don't know how many of you going to work your job, and when they tell you you're due a raise, that you're going to say no. And if so, let me know, because I'll be interested to find out where you work and you didn't take a raise when it was due to you. End of my report.
Alderman Davis.
Thank you, Mayor. First, I'd like to congratulate the members, the commissions. It takes a lot to volunteer your time, and those are the things that we need to keep the city moving forward. So I just want to commend you, and special kudos to the Theater Commission. When we had the committee, I remember that commission meeting every week. They volunteer their time, they give their time to do what's best for the city. I mean, if anybody has some ideas on moving the city forward instead of talking about it, I would encourage you to join or at least come to their committee meeting and stress your concerns, because they bring the ideas to the board. And prior to 2011, there was not a theater commission. That theater commission was created to let you have your input on running that theater. It's your theater. It's not our theater. Everybody here that was elected, we did not create that theater. I mean, that was here. It's just something you got to deal with. That's part of your job as an elected official. So different things that we're tasked with, we have to deal with it. Speaking of the budget, some of the things that were mentioned, see, it's important to have the actual information. The budget is a complex item. We did not raise the budget by $11 million, as one of the residents said. As a matter of fact, there was only one raise in that entire budget that the council allowed, and that was $3,000. There was no other raises. There was not, the positions that were filled were positions that were replacements or that were needed by our mayor to run the city. So we did not expand your taxes. One of the things that you might have to take note of when you look at that $41 million figure, in the past, there were items in our budget that wasn't even included in the budget. As an example, the group insurance, which is under the admin, is $1,657,500. That wasn't in the budget. So these items we were spending, but you just weren't seeing it. Now we're being transparent. We have a finance director who we get our guidance from, who actually understands budgets and gave us the confidence that we were actually passing a budget that we should pass. We're under the budget form of government. We don't have a choice but to pass a budget. We can play with it. We're actually behind now. You have to pass those budgets by April 30th every year. So the budget is a collective budget of every alderman on this council. So when we sit in budget meetings, everybody's opinion is taken into consideration. We do not move forward on any item without a consensus from the entire council. So if sometimes one alderman may not agree, but if we have a consensus, we got to move forward with it. So it is what it is. Whether we had a budget or not, the city's going to still function. We would just be not in compliance with Cook County. So, and it's something that we're concerned. We're all taxpayers. We're concerned. I mean, when I first wanted to be elected, a lot I didn't agree with, but once you get on this board and you understand some things aren't just easy, just turning a switch and turning it off. It doesn't happen like that. Those collective bargaining agreements, I personally know 2 of them that we lowered the starting salary. Our biggest part of our budget is our police. We lowered the starting salary from, I don't have the exact figure, but it was $67,000. We lowered it to in the 50s, and we did some comparisons. They had a maximum. They were getting almost 80-something thousand in 3 years. We stretched that out to 8 years. We fought hard for everything we did, and that happened several years ago, and we're going to continue to do that. We're going to continue to make cuts. We're going to continue to try to lower the taxes. The only time your taxes are raised when we ask for more money from the county, when it comes December, and we ask for more money with our levy. A couple other items that are in the budget that you need to be aware of that really aren't necessarily, it doesn't mean that we're going to spend it. We just put it in there to be transparent. One of them is the Capital Projects Fund. That's a wish list. Our mayor asked us to put together, each department to put a wish list together for things that they wanted. We're not going to fund that. That's only going to be contingent on receiving funds, government grants or anything. But it's in the budget. So if you look at the budget, you see $2,783,561. First thing you're thinking, we're spending that money. That don't mean we're spending that money. It's allocated because if we get the funds, we'll be able to spend the money. You also got the motor fuel tax fund. That's where we got the streets in there. We're trying to get bonds. So if you really take some of those items out, I mean, we could have presented a budget that looked exactly the same, probably less than last year. We're trying to be transparent, and we're following the direction of our finance director. And what we're finding out is that, you know, as a city, we have good revenues, we get good sales tax. We may have to make some adjustments in the event the state income tax gets lowered, but as a council, we're prepared to do that. So, I mean, unfortunately, it's a necessary evil that we have to do, but it's part of our job as elected officials. So I stand behind that budget. There's a couple other things that I want to mention. I have a Fifth Ward meeting tomorrow, Tuesday, July 28th, and it's going to be in the basement of City Hall. And that meeting's going to be topics. It's just anybody's welcome, but it's specifically for the Fifth Ward residents because we've got some concerns about recent crimes in the area, and the police is going to share with us some crime reduction strategies and give our town or our residents some safety ideas. So anybody's welcome, but it's a Fifth Ward meeting. It's 7 p.m. 7 p.m. here at City Hall in the basement. Cornerstone Christian Fellowship also has their monthly food pantry, and they give away food to anybody. You don't have to live in this town, and it's real nice fruits and vegetables. And that's this Friday, July 31st, and it's from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. And that's compliments for Pastor Keith Williams at Cornerstone. As far as, you know, the budget, I mean, our salaries, one of the things, I mean, we could talk about it. Those are done by our ordinance, and we have to do that prior to the next election. So in the next upcoming weeks, if the council wants to sit down and we want to look at, or next month or so, we have that ability, but we can't do anything about those things within this budget. I think that is the end of my report, and I thank you.
I make a motion to adjourn.
before you adjourn? You look quick on the draw there. Attorney Murphy?
I have nothing. I think what we talked about at the last meeting in terms
Okay.
of the tax levy deserves some repetition, that in terms of the budget, the city council has not increased the tax levy. The amount of dollars that the council has asked for has stayed flat over the past few years. And I would anticipate that come December, that amount that the council will approve for a tax levy will remain flat. I'm sure the aldermen agree with that. That's all I have.
Okay, I just want to make a couple of statements before, and we'll be done. At the last council meeting, there was a gentleman, older gentleman, came up to inquire about the sale of his home. And what I said to him, that I would make sure that our building department would accept a bond for the contractor that was going to buy his property. And that's what I really said. But when I went home, I read on a website that Country Club Hills was buying houses, and that an old gentleman came up to the council meeting and the mayor agreed to buy his house. And the other thing was, this is really crazy. Clifford Graham came up to the mic to speak, and halfway through his speech, I said to him, Clifford, this is not the budget hearing. He said, I know it, and he kept going. In this website, again, it stated that Alderman Mayor Ford cut him off. That's another untrue. See, we are our own worst enemies here in this town. Don't go out telling untruths, because people read that and they get this attitude or this, opinion about who we are and what we are doing here. Okay, you elected me as mayor. Please give me a chance to run the city and manage the best way I can, because I'm a resident and my tax went up 35–40%. So for a resident to come to the microphone and tell me I can't do this, don't ever tell me that I can't do this, because when you tell me that, I try harder. But what I want you to do is not to tell me what I can't do, but I want you to come forward to work with me, long beside me, because my door is open to every resident in the city of Country Club Hills. And we, as a group of people in the city of Country Club Hills, have to work together in some unity. Okay, what happened last year is last year. This is new. We can make this theater work, but we need you to understand the budget. We need you to understand what we have planned so that you can help us to move forward. Please stop printing the untruths. Tell the truth about your city. Tell the truth about your leaders, okay? Because we are here to make things better for everybody. With that, adjournment.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Okay, if there's anyone out there, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone out there want to talk to the mayor, come on forward. Thank you.